Good day everyone, I am Leia Galopo and today I am going to tackle the life and works of Dr. Jose Rizal. So first is the chapter 14, Rizal in London, trip across the Atlantic. While on the board, Rizal entertained the American and European passengers with his marvelous skill of the yo-yo as a defensive weapon. Adelphi Hotel, Liverpool, England. He spent his night at Adelphi Hotel. Rizal arrived at Liverpool, England on May 24, 1888. Rizal wrote to his family, "Liverpool is a big and beautiful city, and its celebrated port is worthy of its great fame. The entrance is magnificent and the custom house is quite good." On May 25, 1888, Rizal went to London. He stayed as a guest at home of Dr. Antonio Maria Riquidor, an exile of Dr. Antonio Maria Riquidor. By the end of May, he found a modest boarding place at number 37, Chalcote Crescent, Primrose Hill. Rizal was a boarder of the Beckett. News from home. First, persecution of the Filipino patriots who signed the Anti-Friar Petition 1888. Second, persecution of the Calamba tenants. Third, furious attacks on Rizal by Senator Salamanca and Veda in Spanish Cortes and Wenceslao Retana and Pablo Fez in Spanish newspapers. Fourth, a friend of Rizal, Loriano Villado, a medical student at the University of Santo Tomas, was arrested and jailed in Bilibid prison because of the copies of Noli that were found in his house. Fifth, Rizal's brothers-in-law, Manuel T. Hidalgo, husband of Saturnina, was exiled by Governor General Waylard to Bohol without due process of law. Short visit to Paris and Spain. Early in September 1888, Rizal visited Paris for a week in order to search for more historical materials, Bibliothèque Nationale. On December 11, 1888, Rizal went to Madrid and Barcelona, Spain. For the first time, Rizal met Marcelo del Pilar and Mariano Ponce, the two titans of propaganda movement. Rizal becomes leader of Filipinos in Europe. By an anonymous vote of all the members, Rizal was chosen honorary president of society called Asociación La Solidaridad or Solidaridad Association. This was a recognition of his leadership among all Filipino patriots in Europe. Rizal and La Solidaridad newspaper. On February 15, 1889, Graciano Lopez Haina founded the patriotic newspaper called La Solidaridad in Barcelona, Spain. Romance with Gertrude Beckett. Rizal had a romantic interlude with the oldest of the three Beckett sisters, Gertrude or Getty. Getty, as she was affectionately called, was a buxom English girl with brown hair, blue eyes, and rosy cheeks. I fell in love with Rizal on cold winter mornings. I had a many smile for him, chattering gaily like a hummingbird. During the family picnics, I was particularly very happy because Rizal was with them and I gave him all my attention. And in rainy days, when I stayed at home, I helped him by mixing his colors for painting and assisted in preparing the clay for sculpturing. Chapter 15, Rizal's sojourn in Paris. Rizal's second sojourn in Paris and the Universal Exposition of 1889. Universal Exposition or Exposition Universal 1889, World's Fair held in Paris, France. 100th anniversary of the storming of the Bastille. an event traditionally considered as a symbol for the beginning of the French Revolution. Difficulty of finding quarters. For a short time, Rizal lived in house of his friend Valentin Ventura. He transferred his residence several times. Finally, he lived together with two other Filipinos, Capitan Justo Trinidad and Jose Albert. Three Filipino societies Rizal founded. First is the Kidlat Club. Among the members were Antonio and Juan Luna, Gregorio Aguilera, Fernando Canon, Lauro Di Mayuga, Julio Llorente, Guillermo Puato, and Baldomero Rojas to bring together the young Filipinos in the French capital. Second, Indios Bravos. Its members pledged to excel in intellectual and physical prowess in order to win the admiration of the foreigners, particularly the Spaniards. RDIM Society, Redemption de los Malayos or Redemption of the Malays. He only mentioned this secret society to Jose Maria Basa, Marcelo H. del Pilar. It was patterned after Freemasonry. Annotated edition of Morga published. Rizal's outstanding achievement in Paris, 1980. He wrote in the British Museum. It was printed by Garnier Ferres. Professor Blumentritt wrote the prologue. Rizal's errors. Appraising the events of the past in the light of present standards. Attacks on the church were unfair and unjustified because the abuses of the friars should not be construed to mean that Catholicism is bad. Rizal published Morga's successors. Best of the many histories of the Philippines written by the early Spanish writers. Next is the chapter 16, Rizal in Brussels or Europe. The articles he wrote for La Solidaridad during his stay to Brussels. First is A la Defensa or To la Defensa, April 30, 1889. Second, La Verdad para Todos or The Truth for All, May 31, 1889. Third, Vicente Barantes or Teatro Tagalog, June 15, 1889. Fourth, Una Profanacion or A Profanation, July 31, 1889. Next is The Verdades Nuevas or New Truths, July 31, 1889. And Crueldad or Cruelty, August 15, 1889. Deferencias or Deferences, September 15, 1889. Inconsequencias or Inconsequences, November 30, 1889. Preparation to go home. Rizal could not stay in Brussels writing a book while his parents, relatives, and friends in the Philippines were persecuted. Rizal's letter to Ponce. I want to go back to the Philippines, and although I know it would be dating and imprudent, what does that matter? The only thing that can detain me is a doubt whether my parents agree. I am afraid to disturb their last years in case they should object my homecoming. I would work for a livelihood in some part of the world. Rizal's friends warned him for the danger that awaited him at his schools. Something happened that made Rizal change his plan in returning to the Philippines when he received a letter from Pasiano which related that they lost the case against the Dominicans in Manila, but they appealed it to the Supreme Court in Spain. June 20, 1890, Rizal wrote to Marcelo H. del Pilar, retaining the latter's service as a lawyer, and informed del Pilar that he was going to Madrid in order to supervise the handling of the case. July 29, 1890, he wrote a letter to Ponce announcing that he was leaving Brussels at the beginning of the following month and would arrive Madrid about the 3rd and 4th August. Decision to go to Madrid. Thank you. that would be all, and God bless for listening.